Closing out a busy Saturday of USL Championship action from Cardinale Stadium in Seaside, California. It is Monterey Bay FC playing host to New Mexico United. Tonight's match is presented by the Monterey Marriott with the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. Looking at the Western Conference standings, of course, still very early on. Both these teams just trying to kickstart their seasons, each with one win in their opening portion of the schedule. This is just the third game of the season for New Mexico United. It's also just the third game that these two teams have played in their histories. To go back to last year, a draw and a New Mexico win, but two tightly contested matchups when these two teams meet up.
Yeah, two very, very good sides, but two sides who need to get goals. A good finish, wasn't it? But they need to get goals. They need to work their way up the table because they're sitting dangerously close to not making those playoffs. Although it's still early season, the West is a very, very tough group. And both of them could score. Monterey Bay bombing forward down the right. Beautiful ball in. Chase Boone, top corner. What a great header there for him. Beautiful ball in there from Moridona. And Chase Boone coming off the bench potentially in the match today.
But somebody not coming off the bench and getting a start here today is Carlos Herrera in for Anthony Siaha.
Yeah, an interesting one. It's not that Anthony Siaha has been really to blame for the goals, but you know, I think the coach Frank Geller feels he could have done a little bit better here and there, and they haven't managed to keep a clean sheet, conceding 3 in their opening match, and there's been goals going in regularly ever since, losing at home to Lou City, conceded a goal at RGV and 2 against San Antonio. So yeah, sometimes as a coach you just try something different and see if it works. So good luck there to Carlos Herrera for today's game.
See what he can do in goal, and a player who's going to try to keep out of the back of the net, Santi Moore, of course, back in yellow and black.
Yeah, he was there, then went to Phoenix Rising and was part of a very successful couple of seasons. Last year, though, wasn't his best. It wasn't Phoenix Rising's best, to be honest. And you can see that back in 21-22, 18 goals, 8 assists. So he can be a really, really good player on his day. I just want to see if he can get back to the form that he showed a couple of seasons ago.
Of course, he scored 11 goals in 2019 in his first stint with New Mexico United. So with that, we are building you up to first kick tonight. It is a sunny Seaside, California tonight, and we have the last game on the docket in the USL Championship. It's Monterey Bay FC, New Mexico United. Lineups and first kick are coming up next.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Looking at tonight's starting lineups, we start with Monterey Bay and Frank Yallop side.
Yes, as mentioned, Carlos Herrera in goals for Anthony Siaha. Moby Fair back from suspension, and Grant Robinson takes his normal left-back slot. Out go Alex Lara and Chase Boone to the bench.
And on the other side for New Mexico United, a couple changes here for Zach Prince as well.
Yeah, Sergio Rivas comes in, Justin Portillo suspended, Josh Suggs in for Austin Yearwood. Just those two changes.
Of course, the double yellow picked up by Justin Portillo, which means he misses this one here tonight. Our referee is Brandon Stevens. He just took charge of Phoenix Rising versus Greenville Triumph on Wednesday in the Open Cup. There's the whistle, and away we go. 90 minutes as Monterey Bay clashes with New Mexico United for the first time here in 2023. Thanks so much for being with us here on ESPN Plus. And maybe an early chance already coming for New Mexico. It's Amando Moreno. Wants to turn it back for Santi Moar. Moar's cross lifted in. The heads go up. It wasn't a bad effort. Rivas trying to keep this alive. There's Gleedle. And this is quickly headed away. Well, both of these teams coming in off of wins in the US Open Cup in the midweek. This is headed back to Herrera. Of course, it was New Mexico United. A big-time win over UDA Soccer, 6-0. Hurst, Portillo, Bruce, and Dalling all on the score sheet. Dalling scored a hat trick. As for Monterey Bay, it took them a little bit longer to advance through to the third round as they had to go to extra time against Central Valley Fuego, but they ended up taking that one by 3-1. Valesky, Dixon, and Gleedle on the score sheet. And it wouldn't really show it in the Open Cup, but these have been two teams that have kind of struggled to put the ball in the back of the net in this early going. For New Mexico United, just one goal in their opening 2 matches.
Yeah, just 2 matches. There's not a lot to go on, but just the 1 goal. And Coach Zach Prince saying to us that that's a concern for him. He wants to see more goals. As far as Monterey Bay are concerned, they've scored 5 in the opening match against Harvard. They've been leaking goals at the other end. The League 3 there, 2 against San Antonio, 1 at RGV. And yet, to be fair, they've looked really good. I mean, San Antonio was a tough match at home, Lou City, and those are the finalists last season. So it's hard to tell just how good Monterey Bay is. The assumption is they're a very, very good side who should not only make the playoffs but should have a deep run. New Mexico, that's more of an unknown quantity at this stage.
To your point about Monterey Bay leaking goals, last year, the way they kind of got back into things and maybe an outside chance of the playoffs was they were putting up clean sheet after clean sheet. Not so much the same here this year as they're winless in their last 3 since that win on opening day. That is in the league. And of course, they will welcome in the San Jose Earthquakes in just a few weeks in the 3rd round of the Open Cup. New Mexico United will get another matchup with Phoenix Rising. Of course, they lost to Phoenix last year in the Open Cup.
Of course, Frank Yallop with a lot of history at San Jose Earthquakes, so that should be a cracking match and one the players no doubt will be looking forward to as well, playing MLS opposition.
He said when they were watching the draw and they saw the draw for a home match, his office erupted, and then they saw who was against, and they were even happier. He said those are kind of the things that you get rewarded with when you win that 2nd round match. You get the opportunity to play higher opposition, and they will get that chance in a few weeks. But focus here tonight is on New Mexico United getting back on the winning track, as players already down here for New Mexico United just 3 minutes in.
There was anything untoward, just a coming together of bodies as they went for the ball. Going to get some treatment, but 120 minutes for Monterey Bay in cup action. Not that all of these players played, but some of them did. And let's have a look and see what happened here. Harry Schwartz is taking a knock there, maybe from the shoulder, but there could be some tired legs towards the end of the game. I would like to see Josh Dalling come on for New Mexico at some stage. You get a hat trick. It's exciting. Good there, Grant Robinson just helping Harry Schwartz up. No malice at all. Just looking at Grant Robinson, he was a regular last season, so having him back, it's the back 4 they had for most of last year. Maury Donor, Kai Green, Hugh Roberts, Grant Robinson. Moby Fair back from suspension. It's probably the strongest team that Frank Yallop can put out. So this will be a good test just to see how strong it actually is.
And what Frank Yallop was really happy about was the depth that he could bring off the bench. He said he made some rotations in that game against Fuego in the Open Cup, but of course you can bring in a player like Christian Valesky, and of course there's still some good players on the bench here tonight. Jason Johnson, Chase Boone, Walmer Martinez, and a new signing as well, Novelo Yoseki, a holding midfielder. We'll see if he is called upon tonight for his USL Championship debut. The referee will bring this back. There's a foul there in the center circle. Free kick Monterey Bay's way.
Sergio Rivas pulling one of the Monterey Bay players back. Almost enough to get a yellow card these days. If you start pulling players back when they're, maybe that's what they're having a discussion with the referee, Brandon Stevens, about. You can't be pulling jerseys, holding players back. A little tug gets, yeah, a little tug, yes, but a good strong hold normally results in a yellow.
It was Zach Prince that pointed out Sergio Rivas being an important player in this game, sort of filling the role of Justin Portillo as best as he can, at least on the field. But he said Portillo brings so much of the intangibles, the leadership, those sorts of things. And they will miss him tonight. He scored their only goals, a penalty against Miami FC in their opening match a few weeks back.
That was a good result, and a loss at Oakland, given that Oakland beat Indy 11 3-0 today away from home. Suddenly, if you're New Mexico, you're thinking, well, hang on a second, maybe Oakland away is going to be a tough match for most teams. So, again, they're not quite sure, or we're not quite sure just how good New Mexico are. Even their fans are wondering, well, you know, if Oakland are that good, then maybe the loss isn't bad, and maybe we're better than that result shows. So there's a lot of ifs and buts this early on in the season.
Still trying to figure out the kind of contenders and pretenders, at least in the early going. But we've been talking a lot this week about the Western Conference. I mean, it is going to come right down to it. And I mean, there's going to be some good teams that don't make the playoffs, even though they've extended the field now to 8 teams per conference. Some good teams are going to have to miss out.
100% correct. And I can't even begin to call which those teams are. I mean, 4 teams are not going to make it. Right now, Phoenix Rising's at the bottom, but you've got to believe with the talent they have, they're going to climb up the table. And you can go through every team, and everyone's, even El Paso had a bad start, and then when they won 3-0 at Lou City. So you're thinking, well, there is no weak team. And it is, as you quite rightly said, it's going to be a shock. A couple of teams are going to end up outside of the playoffs, 4 in fact, and you're going to be so surprised as to who that 4 will be.
El Paso actually beating Orange County right now, goal to 0 at home. Here's Rivas. Slide that in, he lost his balance. Is there a chance now on the counterattack? It's quickly won back from New Mexico United. That's something Zach Prince said going back to the Oakland game. He said there were large stretches where we had control. He said it was kind of those transition moments that were complicated. And this is a foul against Greg Hurst, another one of those players coming over from Phoenix Rising.
Going back to that comment by Zach Prince against to do with the loss against Oakland, he said we didn't cover our centre backs better. We need to tuck in a bit more, and he said we need to be more dangerous once we get to goal. He said that the sort of combination around the goals wasn't good enough. We were mostly long shots. And he said, yes, you know, towards the end we chased the game a little bit, but he said overall I was disappointed with the performance.
Weave through was Moreno. Green, Kamori Donor. That's turned over, and New Mexico trying to go quick through the middle. The pass was just behind Amando Moreno, and it swept out of play.
Luckily, they pass as bad as we do.
Throw in there coming for Grant Robinson. He will clear it away. For Monterey Bay, it's kind of been where in the lineup, where in the formation is Sam Galito. Well, he's starting up top on the left wing tonight. As Maury Donor has it here on the right, trying to slide this in. Couldn't find Alex Dixon. Seems like every opposing coach we talk to in ahead of a game against Monterey Bay is where in the world is Sam Gleadle going to be, just because of how dangerous he can. But here's Greg Hurst, and it's a big save from Carlos Herrera. How about that stop by Herrera? Called into action for the first time tonight.
That is a brilliant save from Carlos Herrera. They thread this ball so well through, and it's a little bit lucky it does come off a Monterey Bay player, but Greg Hurst puts it on target. Carlos Herrera stands up big, it comes off his shoulder, and he makes a fantastic save. And that's the way you want to start when you've been given a chance in goals, a chance to grab the #1 jersey, or the 21 jersey in this case. You go for it. That's a brilliant save.
Made 7 starts last year in his first season as a pro. Started in the Open Cup as well this week. As the corner comes in, Robert stepped to it and got it away as far as Suggs. Rivas. Roberts again. Hamilton trying to keep it alive. Weehan stepping forward. Revelar gets it away.
Well, it's been a lively start to this match. Really has been New Mexico on the front foot for most of it, and then Monterey Bay counter-attacking and creating a few chances themselves. This is the way the whole 90 minutes is going to go, and I think we're in for a treat.
Always a great scene here at Cardinale Stadium. Mexico on the move again. It's Moar. Always likes to cut in on that right foot as he's trying to here. Moar. This is the 3rd straight road match to start the season for New Mexico. We'll be home against San Diego coming in the next few weeks. The game will be next Saturday at the Lab. Welcome in some of the best fans in the USL Championship once again.
I think it's almost the reverse for Monterey Bay. They've got a couple of matches away from home coming up. Phoenix away and Indy 11 away. Those are not going to be easy. So when it comes to your home matches, you have to pick up points. Now, they did in the opening match against Hartford, but Lou City at home, they lost. San Antonio at home, they lost. Very close games. Now they need to win this one.
Here comes New Mexico again. Trying to put that in front, it's spilled and tapped home! And New Mexico United off the mark early, and it is Chris Weehan. It is his 50th regular season goal, and he gives the yellow and black a 1-0 advantage.
That's a good attack down this right-hand side. The ball being whipped in by Rivas. Goalkeeper can't hold on to it, unfortunately for Carlos Herrera. He sort of spills it right in front of Chris Weehan, and he smacks it into the back of the net, and they deserve it. They've already had one chance to keep a save brilliantly. They've created another, and they've been on the front foot, and they've got their rewards. The manager wanted goals. Well, he's got one within the first 13 minutes.
First goal through the run of play for New Mexico United in 2023. And it's Chris Weehan to get it, and congrats to him. 50 regular season goals. He gets his first here in 2023. Of course, his first 2 years with the club in 2019 and 2020, 21 goals, 11 assists, then spent some time with Orange County, but of course now back here with New Mexico United for his 5th season. And what a great start this is for Chris Weehan. New Mexico United on the road.
It's familiar territory a little bit for Monterey Bay. They went 1 down against San Antonio as well, and had to fight their way back into this match. So they know what they have to do, but the point about winning at home, if they don't win this one, they're on the road, and suddenly they're the ones looking up at the playoff places. So crucial for Monterey Bay that they fight back in this match.
They failed to win in their last 5 matches when conceding the opening goal in league play. Last win under those circumstances last September against San Diego. Here's Fair. We've talked to Frank Yaup. He really believes in this attacking unit with Gleadle, Valesky, Dixon. Of course, he scored a hat trick on opening day. And this will be brought back. A free kick for Monterey Bay and a chance for an immediate response.
It's a very good attack. I mean, Sam Gleadle on your left-hand side as Zach Prince is giving out instructions. Alex Dixon with pace. He got a hat-trick on the opening day. He's got wonderful pace. Well, we haven't seen him be as effective since that first game against Hartford. Christian Valeski in the middle. And you've got Adrian Rebelar just behind the front three. So they've got plenty of ability, plus Chase Boone on the bench. Rivas just slipping there. And then this, oh, you just don't quite see it. You don't see the tackle on Murphy. But took a bit of a knock. He's tough, though. Back up on his feet.
He'll stand over this set-piece opportunity. Murphy lifts it in. Good depth on this. Hamilton taking no chances. First corner kick of the match from Monterey Bay.
Kai Green coming in at the far post, but there were two New Mexico United defenders to deal with that. So it was good planning. Once again, they get another set piece, another chance to bomb the ball in the box and try and get the likes of a Hugh Roberts or a Kai Green on the end of it.
Murphy again to deliver. Heads go up, but it's cleared away. Donor into the mixer, trying to flick this along. New Mexico will get this away. Moreno can pick out this pass. There are numbers there for New Mexico United. It's Weehan. He brings it down. Chris Weehan for Greg Hurst, and a sliding challenge to break it up.
I just wonder there, Weehan had a 3-on-1 in his favor if he'd have gone straight with that, but he held the ball up, and slowly, quickly, I should say, the Monterey Bay defenders got back, and then they could snuff it up. But for a little second there, Chris Weehan had a chance of running at the defense and having options left and right.
This has been a back-and-forth match already in these opening 16 minutes. Gleadle. It's a heavy touch and it's turned over. Moreno. An extra little burst there, and he's still coming forward, and it's a foul, and it looks like a yellow card as well. That was a quick one there from the referee, and a free kick to New Mexico United.
Big debate going on about this yellow card. Finger pointing, but referee Brandon Stevens has made up his mind. If it was a bit of a push, to be fair, hands were up, but I only assume that's for accumulation of fouls, because it didn't seem to be that bad on its own.
I think he was the one to run into Harry Swartz also early on.
Correct, yes.
Nonetheless, he is into the book, the left back for Monterey Bay. Moar is the one standing around this. We'll send this in. It's a free header from Rivas, but it just pops in the air for Herrera.
All the defenders are back, so Herrera had no quick outlet. Instead, they play nicely up from the back. Good pressure coming from New Mexico United.
Lifted forward, looking for Valeski. Valeski again, right over his head, trying to keep it. Dixon. Rebelar wanted to take that out wide.
Dixon plays it through. There was no one even making a run there. So it's an interesting thing with Alex Dixon, because the hat-trick on opening day, then he scored another goal, but in between that, it hasn't really been effective. He's got this blistering pace, but you've got to play him in, you've got to get him service, and just hasn't quite molded him with the team, which sounds crazy when you think he scored a hat-trick on opening day, but since then he hasn't quite molded with the team. They haven't figured out how to get the best out of him.
In terms of a team leaking goals, it has not been the best start for Hartford Athletic. They lost again today against the Charleston Battery. That is, of course, the team that Dixon scored a hat trick against week 1. Ballard trying to keep it moving, but nobody there. It's been a strong start for New Mexico United on both ends of the field. Dixon. Whistle comes, a foul against Rivas. Set piece opportunity for Monterey Bay from midfield, and Ballard feeling the effects of that one.
When we were talking to Zach Prince, we asked him about the defeat at Oakland Roots, and he said, what I love about my team is their personality, especially when we lose, they responded so well. And he'll be happy with their personality in the first 20 minutes in this game. It looked really good. No foul.
No foul. Play on. The referee will halt that one as it hit him. The interesting thing to that point about our comments with Zach Prince is that he said there's not a lot of opportunity, or you don't want a lot of opportunities to be able to bounce back from a loss, but he said this is a great opportunity to do so, especially early on in the season. So far, so good for New Mexico United.
It is so important to get a good start to the season, given what we discussed of how many good teams there are. And if you're below that playoff line and you've got to start chasing, and the teams above you are so good, suddenly the confidence becomes questionable in the locker room, and the concerns about not making the playoffs, and the fans and everything else starts to build the pressure. So you want that good start. You want to be right up there, and if not the top 4, just behind them if necessary, and have others chasing you and feeling the pressure instead.
Well, that's the word, chase, is you don't want to feel like you're chasing all season. You want to be the team out in front. You can wear on a team as the season goes along. You're going to try to make up ground in the standings. And if you get off to that good start, it really sets the tone. Box lifted in. Dixon can't keep it alive. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit SelectSportAmerica.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. There's Fair, and now Maury Donor.
Important to have him back from suspension, Moby Fair. You can see how he sort of links everything together, but he's putting his arms up as if to say there's no one making runs, there's no one looking for the ball from me. A little bit of frustration from Moby Fair.
Murphy through the lines. Valesky on the move. Got to touch on that to keep it alive. Dixon. Here's Rebelar. All those yellow shirts in the box. Cross is blocked out.
Some crowd participation.
You want to see a winner. Right now, they're doing a lot of defending as this is slipped in behind. Torreira to clean it up.
this will be worrying for Frank Yallop. He would have understood that battling against Lou City and San Antonio is what happens when you play the teams that reach the final. But he would have expected, or certainly would have hoped, for a much better start to this match against New Mexico. He would have seen this as a really good chance to get 3 points, get the confidence built up again and climb up that table. It's not looking that good so far. Long way to go, of course. You've got a couple of good options on the bench, like Chase Boone. This is, in his opinion, I would think, the best lineup, and it hasn't got off to the start that he would have expected.
To be fair, this has been a tough stretch of games against Louisville City, away at RGV. That's a tough place to win. And then, of course, you welcome in the defending champions in San Antonio FC.
Name me an easy game.
I mean, that's also true. I mean, it's hard to win in this league.
That's why, again, Oakland's win 3-0 at Indy 11, and well-deserved win. Makes you think that New Mexico's loss there wasn't that bad a result necessarily.
Here's Moreno trying to link with Rivas, and Robert stepped up. Seymour settle things, and now here's Kalen Ryden. Suggs has to leave it there for Moar. Moar skips his way in fields. Didn't get the angle right on the pass. There's Revelar, and there's space to work into. Donor has to turn it back. Murphy trying to distribute out wide. Robinson can't keep it in play. Good idea, the execution just not quite there. Game that has gone final, San Antonio and Sacramento. 0-0 draw in San Antonio.
It's a good point on the road for Sacramento Republic, who more and more people are talking about as being the side this season, more so than San Antonio even. Given their 5-0 demolition of Lou City, and the fact they got to the Cup final last year.
Both those teams at the top of the Western Conference right now on 11 points. Colorado Springs and San Diego right behind them with 10 each. Switch of play, and this is quickly headed forward, and Herrera will come to collect once again.
It's a lovely switch of play, wasn't it? Beautiful ball, but then the header didn't quite match the pass.
Here's Kai Green. The distribution out wide. It just seems like wherever Monterey Bay is trying to go, there's a yellow shirt there. New Mexico United very active defensively in this game.
Good pressure, as you say, and every time someone gets on the ball, there's yellow shirts closing them down. You've got to find your way through.
Almost did there, just too close to Alex Tambakis in goal. Goalkeeper back for his 3rd season. New Mexico, 2019 second team all USL player with North Carolina FC.
He started his career at Panathinaikos, which is one of the top Greek clubs. Very good place to start.
Herrera just able to claim this at the top of the area. Quick 1-2 on the far side. It's Alex Dixon looking for Sam Gleedle. Look at that space he's in. There's Donor out wide. Maury Donor just trying to pass that towards goal. And it was right there for Tambakis to save.
Dona's got to be more accurate. Valesky made the run to the near post. It's a 5-6 yard ball. It's got to be spot on in that situation. You can see he's annoyed with himself. It was a great opportunity. Lovely, lovely counter attack from their own half right through to the end there. Just the final pass is what let them down.
Just eluded Hurst, and Roberts will go back to Herrera.
At least it'll lift the confidence from Monterey Bay. That sort of move. They realize that they can play their way through. They can create the opportunities. And Alex Dixon is a good person to play out of defense because of his pace. He can turn and run at defenses. If they get too tight to him, if they double team him, then somebody else is going to have space.
There he is again out wide. Dixon gonna cut it back. Service coming in. Suggs was there. It's still available. Crucial header put in by Kalen Ryden to get that out of harm's way. And now it's Moar for New Mexico. Locked out of play. Weehan was making the run upfield through the middle. Moar, his cross took a deflection. Roberts able to head this out of play. On the line, it's Suggs. Can he get the cross away? He can. It's taken by Herrera. Rivas. Back for Moar. Thought about it for a moment, did Moar. Now it's Moreno. His cross headed away by Roberts. Oh, quick turn there by Moreno. Trying to feed it centrally. Hurst and Weehan were lining up. And it's cut out again. A corner kick for New Mexico.
James Murphy with the block, but what a turn from Moreno. He left two defenders in blue going the wrong direction, turned them, got in the box, and only good defending, blocking that shot. And New Mexico has managed to keep the ball the last couple of minutes. Every time it comes back out, they seem to win it and then launch another attack.
Moar will take this for New Mexico. Loading this in, and it's Herrera who can come and claim it, and trying to distribute quickly. Here's Gleedle. Has Dixon in the middle, and he can find him. It's Alex Dixon, hesitates, and scores! From one end to the other, Monterey Bay, a devastating counterattack, and they find the equalizer at 1-1.
Absolutely brilliant starting from the goalkeeper, Carlos Herrera, who rolled it out, and they ran it through midfield. Sam Gleedle with a great run. Have a look, keeper comes, takes it. That's great goalkeeping to start with. The throw, fantastic. You've got one-on-one here. Sam Gleedle against one defender. And then Alex Dixon with his pace has made the run. He's called for it. He's given him the ball. At this point here, I just wondered if he'd lost the chance, but he just turns inside on his right foot and buries it. Alex Dixon, that is where he's so good. That blistering pace of his. And now he's scored his 5th of the season. And they're back on level terms. Well done, Monterey Bay.
Gleedle to Dixon for 1-1. That goal is presented by Taylor Farms. As you mentioned, 5 goals already in this young season for Alex Dixon, but that goes right back to our chat with Zach Prince this week, and he said it was complicated in transition moments, just like against Oakland, and they give up a counter-attacking goal there. It's all level at 1, but that is definitely something to clean up for New Mexico United in this young season.
Well, you described it as Sam Gleedle to Alex Dixon. I want, on behalf of the Goalkeepers Union, to say it was Carlos Herrera who got the free kick. They'd thrown a lot of bodies forward, New Mexico, so you're already vulnerable to the counter-attack. The keeper comes and plucks it out like that, rolls it quickly, and it was a one-on-one situation. And then credit Alex Dixon for having the pace to outstrip any New Mexico defender, and then he was free in the box. So just a fantastic move all round, but it starts with the keeper, and Carlos Herrera is really making a good case for the regular #1 slot for Monterey Bay.
Absolutely. Came on as a trialist last year. This is cleared away, was eventually signed on April 24th. He did spend some time in the NPSL with the Laredo Heat. Now he has found a nice home here in Seaside under Frank Yallop, the San Leandro, California native. Herrera at 25 years old, so young in his career. Swept away again by Kai Green. Another throw in for New Mexico, and they take it quick. Right back for Rivas. Quick passing here by New Mexico. The back heel was just off the mark. And pass off the mark. It's Chris Wehan, and James Murphy slid in to take away that shooting chance. And this is going to be a whistle. What's the decision going to be? I believe it's offside.
Some crunching tackles there. Good commitment from both sides, and fair commitment. I don't think there was anything nasty about it. Certainly they were both getting stuck in. James Murphy just throwing his body on the line there. Dixon tries to win it, and there's a big crunching tackle as well there coming in from Grant Robinson. You just get a sense that this match might have shifted. That goal obviously makes a big difference for Frank Yallop and his team, but the determination of Monterey Bay, the winning of the 50-50s perhaps has slightly shifted. The crowd are getting behind the home side, and it does wonders for your team when you score an equalizer.
It's boosted the mood around Cardinale Stadium. There's no doubt about it. Now it's a set piece chance for Monterey Bay and James Murphy. Murphy's ready to deliver. Looking for Kai Green, and never got there as Tambakis stepped in.
Just got to be careful with free kicks. If you get them too close to keepers, keepers will come and catch them all day long, and it's very difficult to challenge a keeper these days. You've got to get it away from the keeper. Ideally, penalty spot's a good place to put it.
And Rivas just slipped down, and it's turned over. It's Maury Donor. It back out wide, and Revelar was in an offside position. That's the end of that.
Maridona's had a few passes go astray, and hasn't been the best game for him so far, but he'll keep trying, he'll keep putting pressure on, and I'm sure it'll come right for him.
Dixon. Here's Revelar. Going to work either. It runs out of play. Possession in this game has favored the home side in Monterey Bay. It is New Mexico United that has had just a few more shots in this game than Monterey Bay. Yet we're all level at 1. Moreno couldn't keep that alive. He kicks it away. Brandon Stevis, I think, would like a word.
That one fabulous turn about 10 minutes ago when he saw the dummy by two defenders in blue. Absolutely brilliant bit of skill from Moreno, and whipped the ball into the box, and nothing came of it. But certainly New Mexico have done really well first half.
That's a bad turnover there by Herrera. Wehan ahead for Moreno, and he couldn't sort his feet, and it runs out of play.
Good opportunities for the team in yellow and black. You've got to take these, and they come along. You've at least got to make the goalkeeper work. I think you're right. I think in terms of chances created first half, it certainly has been New Mexico have had more chances. Carlos Herrera with a fantastic save early on. He's been the busier of the two goalkeepers.
Valesky flicks it along, Sam Gleedle's in, and Sam Gleedle scores! From 1-0 down to 2-1 up, Monterey Bay have turned this game on its head.
Fantastic finish from Sam Gleedle, tucks it in the corner and gives them back as absolutely no chance whatsoever. But it starts with that Christian Valesky head on. A fantastic head, brilliant, flicks it right into Sam Gleedle's path, and then he's through and on goal. And have a look at it again. The big man up front, he's a target man. Carlos Herrera boots it out of defense. Look at that header. Right into Sam Gleedle's path. He touches it, puts it forward, bangs it in the back of the net. Can't get a goal more simple than that. And who starts it off again? The goalkeepers union. Carlos Herrera, the kick, the whole length of the pitch to Valesky. But Valesky's header, that was something special.
Another healthy goal brought to you by Taylor Farms. And all of a sudden, after all that opportunity early on for New Mexico, and as this first half has gone along, it's been Monterey Bay that have converted both of their shots in this game into 2 goals. It's going to help the old conversion rate. And now for New Mexico, 5 minutes to go until halftime, and it is back to the drawing board. It's really just kind of that execution, it seems, in the final third. They've gotten there. Now they just got to finish it.
That's where the skill and the quality come in, and Monterey Bay have taken their chances. New Mexico have created more, no doubt about that, but just haven't been as clinical when it comes to sticking it in the back of the net.
Good work to find space here for Monterey Bay. Full ball forward, and Backus will keep it.
There is one name on the bench for New Mexico. A man who scored 3 goals in the cup match midweek, Josh Dolling. Thinking that if Zach Prince doesn't get the clinical finishing that these chances that the team have created deserve, he might look to his bench and chuck on someone who did take 3 of those chances in midweek.
See come the second half what the decisions are. For Monterey Bay, the last 15 minutes of the first half have been very kind to them. They've scored 5 goals in that period. Is more than any other team in the USL Championship. It's always an important period of the game too. Going into halftime can really change the team talk, the mood going into the 15-minute break.
That changes the mood of the crowd. They've gone from behind to level to ahead, so they're all pumped and buzzing and making lots of noise out there.
No doubt, last year was a tough year for this Monterey Bay side, just based on the start of the season. They played their first 8 games on the road. They won just 1 of them. And then, unfortunately, they didn't finish all that well either. They were winless in their last 6 games after they were unbeaten in the previous 5. They have really started this season with some tough matches, but they have hung in there. Trying to come away with the full 3 points here tonight to push them up the table at this early juncture of the season.
I think last year being their first year in the USL was a building year. Frank Geller just trying to get the pieces of the puzzle together.
Lidl couldn't clear this away. Here's Moar, the in-swinger. And this will bounce towards the end line as Swartz is putting pressure on Herrera, but the goalkeeper keeps it.
Good first half, Carlos Herrera. Really done so well. Just back to that Frank Gallup situation. He was building a team. He's managed to keep the pieces that he felt were the best pieces, and he's brought in few new names, and he felt this season things were going to happen for them. And he might very well be right. It is an extremely good side with strength and depth as well. And I think you can bring Chase Boone off the bench. That's impressive quality.
And to that point, we talked with Frank Yallop ahead of the first game of the season, and he was talking about kind of that sort of same thing, trying to keep that core together. And he said, we didn't wait until the end of the season was over to kind of start to build this team. We went to players in the middle of the season that we knew we wanted to keep and started those conversations. And obviously it's rolled into this year, and they were able to build through the middle to end part of last year. And it was the middle part of last year where they really put together some good performances. And now you're seeing it on display here in year number 2. They're really trying to attack this season.
If you just go back to the San Antonio match, yes, they lost 2-1, but it was a goal in the dying moments from Zico Bailey, 85th minute, that gave San Antonio the win. So they weren't played off the park by any stretch of the imagination. They lost 1-0 at home to Lou City. There as well, they were fighting right up to the end. So they've taken on the big boys and not been disgraced, that's for certain.
Get into 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Valesky's been very active up top. He wins another throw in here for Monterey Bay.
Lots of shouts of "Let's go Union" Monterey Bay.
Gets it down the line. It's swept away. So one more chance in this first half, maybe for New Mexico. Hamilton will play it back. The referee looks at his watch and brings this first 45 minutes to a close. Well, no shortage of drama here in Seaside. New Mexico got out in front, but now it's Monterey Bay with the 2-1 advantage.
Sam Gleadle with the second, the go-ahead goal for the home side, and yeah, it's been really entertaining. Both ends has been action. New Mexico created a ton of chances and haven't taken them, and they will be ruining them at half-time. I think that's the message from Zach Prince. Keep creating the same chances, but this time around, try and finish off a few more of them.
We'll see what we get come the second 45 minutes of action, but Monterey Bay has to be feeling pretty good about things going into halftime. A couple of goals to put them out in front, and they lead New Mexico United by 2-1. Tonight's halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. Stay with us.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. As we celebrate 15 years, our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering, and we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Getting ready for our first home game and getting ready for our first home playoff game too. It starts now.
Come watch the Crispin Kelp in action as they take on the defending Eastern Conference champions, Louisville City FC, on March 18th at 7 p.m. at Cardinale Stadium. We have unfinished business, and our mission is to defend the 8-3-1. Tickets available at MontereyBayFC.com. Don't miss your opportunity to see the Crispin Kelp in action.
Are you paying too much?
Halftime tonight, a beautiful sunset over the Pacific here in Seaside, California. Halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. 2-1 to Monterey Bay at halftime, and of course the new month means that we can look back at the first month of the season with our Player of the Month nominees, and there are some good players there for the USL Championship. We'll see who we get, and of course it was a good first month. And how about Alex Dixon? We've seen him tonight, and he's up for one of those spots.
Yeah, that's part of the hat-trick against Hartford. He got a header, he got a penalty, and he got a tap in from a few yards out.
Zach Ryan of Loudoun United. It's been a pretty decent start for Loudoun United to start this season. Zach Ryan scoring some goals there for Ryan Martin's side. And how about Jordan Farr? Every week he's up for save of the week.
Brilliant. That was a penalty from, I think it was Zach Sandy. And it was in the dying moments of the match in which they won 1-0.
Prince Sadie as well. He scored today for Hartford Athletic in the loss against Charleston. But how about this goal, Fidel Barajas?
Wonderful. What is he, 16?
16.
Oh, cuts in, but he bends this, but he bends it with pace as well. What a strike.
And we'll see who gets Player of the Month. You can vote now on USLChampionship.com. And we talked about the Open Cup, and there are some fun matchups upcoming and plenty of MLS versus USL Championship as well. That Miami Clasico is going to be fun.
It is. Inter Miami away from home, as are Houston Dynamo, Tampa Bay Rowdies. So there could be a couple of upsets there.
Absolutely. All these games coming April 25th through 26th. We'll also see New Mexico United against Phoenix Rising, and Minnesota United gets to go into Keyworth against Detroit City.
Oh, yeah. Columbus Crew host Indy 11, Nashville, another MLS team up against San Antonio. And of course, the MLS teams often field the sort of second string teams. There's going to be some upsets, that's for certain.
Definitely, and there's still more coming. 4 more games for you out west. Monterey Bay, we talked about that game against San Jose. That'll mean a lot for Frank Yallop.
It will. He was so successful at San Jose Earthquakes. A lot of history, as he says, good history. Look at that, Portland Timbers, Orange County, Seattle Sounders, your part of the world, up against San Diego Loyal.
Yeah, of course, they will pack Starfire for that one against San Diego Loyal. Nate Miller's side of their hands full there with the Sounders. It is halftime here from Seaside and Cardinale Stadium. Halftime presented by Integris Wealth Management. Monterey Bay leads it 2-1.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montreo, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. Monterey Bay leads New Mexico United by 2-1 as we can take a look at news and notes from around the USL Championship, and plenty going on. Of course, Joshua Winder, He's been called up to the under-20s. And how about this? Douglas Martinez coming over from Sacramento Republic, and Indy could use the goals.
They certainly could. They could have used them today. They
Yeah.
got beat 3-0. And he played in that match, Douglas Martinez, and he looked quite sharp down the right-hand side. But Indy 11 had, up until that moment, it seemed like they were the team to beat, but they got absolutely smashed by Oakland Roots. So big shock there.
Good result for Oakland, and it's been a busy night of action in the USL Championship as we look at our scoreboard, and some interesting scores up here. How about San Diego Loyal? An own goal in the 94th minute by FC Tulsa gifts 3 points to San Diego, and a lot of interesting results up here overall.
Yeah, Miami losing yet again. Tampa Bay will be delighted to get back on the winning trail there. Colorado Springs, good win for them as they climb the table in the West. Hartford losing. They were up against Charleston Battery, but Ben Pierman doing the business there and taking Charleston into a good position in the East, and there's confirmation of that Oakland Roots result. And earlier today, Louisville City just doing enough to beat Detroit.
And Detroit City scuffling, especially in that attacking third. And what is to come this season on ESPN, of course, a great slate of action, and Monterey Bay will get a chance against Oakland Roots. That's turning into a fun little local rivalry here in Northern California.
Yeah, that should be a good game. And there's a couple of other good ones. San Diego Loyal up against New Mexico United. It'll be a big test for New Mexico.
So we are building you up to the second half of action from Seaside, California. The sun's starting to set, the lights taking effect here at Cardinale Stadium. Halftime presented by Integris Wealth Management. The second half is coming up next.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. As we celebrate 15 years, our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering, and we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Players, coaches, referees starting to make their way back out onto the field for the second 45 minutes of action tonight from Cardinale Stadium as we look back at the first 45 minutes. And things got started early. New Mexico United on the front foot to start.
Yeah, bombing down that right-hand side, cutting in, getting the shot here, and unfortunately for Carlos Herrera, he couldn't hold it, and it drops right for Chris Wien to stick it in the back of the net. And at that stage, well deserved from New Mexico because they had been creating good opportunities.
First goal, the 50th regular season goal in the career of Chris Wehan in the USL. And how about back to front? Goalkeeper starts it all, and the counterattack is on.
Yeah, the throw is fantastic. It leaves a one-on-one situation, and there's a great run coming in from the man with all the speed, Alex Dixon. There, he just cuts inside, and then he picks his spot. That's just a fantastic end-to-end goal. Brilliant.
Dixon already 5 goals in this young USL Championship season after his Week 1 hat trick, and buries this one on the assist from Sam Gleadle. There'll be more where that came from. Back to front again, a flick and a goal.
Great flick. Good long kick from the keeper. Great flick. Well taken by Gleadle and well tucked into the corner. It looks simple, but this flick on has to go into Sam Gleadle's path, and it does absolutely perfectly.
He is able to bury that one. That is his 2nd goal on the season. And looking at the stats, it's been a pretty even game overall, but New Mexico United just needs to be more clinical.
They do, because I think they've had better chances. Not all the shots have been on target, but they've been in the box. They've had, especially early on, they had the one-on-one chance. Greg Hurst got through, and Carlos Herrera made a fantastic save. So, yeah, they should be level, I think, New Mexico United, but they're not, and now they've got work to do.
Trying to get back into this one as we welcome you back into Cardinale Stadium. The former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Josh Eastern. Brandon Stevis sends us on our way for 45 more minutes of action here from Seaside. Can New Mexico United play comeback and spoil the party tonight here at Cardinale Stadium, or will Monterey Bay get back on the winning track after they've been winless in their last 3 games after a win on opening weekend against Hartford? Of course, both these teams with relatively big wins in the end in the midweek in the US Open Cup. Trying to bounce right back here. Some work to be done for New Mexico. New Mexico going right over the top. Moreno have to chase this over near the touchline. The referee has stopped play here, as it looks like Moby Fair is down.
I only assume it's a head injury, because that's generally the only reason they stop, or any bad injury, but mostly if it's a head injury, they'll stop the game straight away. But while we've got a moment to chat, for New Mexico, this is only their 3rd match. They've only got 3 points so far. If they were to go on to lose, I said it's a big if. We're just looking at potential scenarios. They are right near the bottom of the table, and they've got some tough matches still to come. San Diego next. It's just a coming together of bodies, and he holds his head. That's why the referee was concerned. San Diego next. If they lose that, then they could find themselves adrift at the bottom. Again, it comes back to what we were saying. This Western League, this Western group is so tough that even good teams are going to find themselves struggling to keep up with the top teams.
Of course, a long season ahead, but as we talked about in the first half, you don't want to be playing chase. You want to be up there towards the top and kind of controlling your own destiny, if you will. This goes all the way back to Herrera.
If you're Monterey Bay, a win takes you alongside El Paso and Oakland Roots on 7 points, and you're just behind the 4 big players at Sac Republic, San Antonio, Colorado Springs, and San Diego. They occupy the top 4 positions, and again, you've got to fancy that they will end up occupying those positions. So the battle is for the next 4 places. 8 teams going for 4 places. It's going to be very interesting season to see who doesn't make it.
Here's Amando Moreno trying to play through the middle for Hurst, and he was in an offside position. Will be interesting to see if and when Zach Prince goes to that bench. We mentioned Josh Doling, who scored a hat trick in the Open Cup, as this attack has really slowed down from a really fast start. As Fair tries to play this in behind. A little push in the back by Gleadle, and that'll turn it back over.
It's an unnecessary push because you've got him locked into the corner there, the defender, and he's going the wrong direction. Just let him try and play his way out and see if you can steal the ball off him. Of course, from Monterey Bay's point of view, they've got Chase Boone on the bench. So there's a really good player you can bring on with fresh legs at some stage.
He already has 2 assists in this young season. With plenty of options for Frank Yallop to choose, it's Chase Boone that is moved to the bench.
Just to confirm your point about the chances created in the first half by New Mexico, it's 0.21 XG for Monterey Bay. So they've got 2 goals out of next to nothing. 0.61 for New Mexico. So they've had more chances. I guess they've been so clinical, Monterey Bay. They've only had 2 really good chances, and they stuck them both in the back of the net. So credit to the home side.
Here's Seymour. Swartz, wide as the field will allow. Here's Hamilton. He turns it over. And right through the middle is Valesky onto it. He's in on goal. Christian Valesky through the 5-hole. It's 3 unanswered goals for Monterey Bay. And the Union, they are out in front.
Alex Tambakis can't believe it. His team have been dominant in so many phases, and yet they got picked off here. Bad ball by Hamilton, and that pass is absolutely brilliant. Valesky keeps himself on side, waits, goes through the goalkeeper's legs. But it's the pass initially from Sam Hamilton in midfield. You leave your entire defense exposed when that gets overturned. It's a brilliantly finished from Christian Valesky.
Another healthy goal brought to you by Taylor Farms. And a goal and an assist tonight for Christian Valesky. Frank Yallop's been saying all season long when we've talked to him, this attack has goals in it. And we are seeing that here tonight. 3 goals against this New Mexico United side. But it only conceded 1 goal all season long coming into play tonight. If you look at all 3 goals, it's a counterattack, it's a little flick in the midfield, and then it's a bad turnover. Self-inflicted wounds, and they can't get out of their own way tonight.
Basically, only 3 decent chances they've created, Monterey Bay. They've scored every single one. But we saw in the opening match with the 5-3 win over Hartford that going forward, this team are good. And yes, they were held back a bit by San Antonio and Lou City.
Another slip, and here's Rebelar, cuts it back. Just couldn't find that touch towards goal. It's kept in, Donor with the service, and he overhits it.
Hugely overhits it. There was nobody anywhere near that cross.
Tried to let him down easy there. And here is the sub we've been talking about. Josh Doling will be coming on, Hillingdon, England native. And that is it for Greg Hurst. Scotsman just couldn't make it happen up top. Doling spent last year with St. Louis City 2. Played his college soccer at Missouri State. And now it's Gleal. That pass off the mark. It's a like-for-like change, and see if Doling can make an impact here for the yellow and black, as they could really use a little kickstart here.
And when we spoke to Zach Prince, he did pick out the attack of Monterey Bay as the big threat. Talked about Alex Dixon, Valesky, and Gleadle, and Chase Boone. He said any combination of those 4, they're a real handful. So what we're going to try and do is catch them on the counter, in the transition. If they throw too many bodies forward, we'll try and counter back. Well, they haven't thrown too many bodies forward, but they've just taken all 3 chances they've had. I guess if you're Zach Prince, you're thinking, really? We surely made more chances, and yet they have found the back of the net every single time. Clinical.
Frank Yallop pointed out that this team just needs to get back on track, and it was interesting talking with Zach Prince as well, that maybe some of those games against lower level opposition in the Open Cup can really kind of kickstart you. And when you see New Mexico score 6 goals and now they're really struggling to finish things off, they've, I guess, left their shooting boots back at home. And this is slid in again. Dixon, deflected towards goal. Tambakis is able to hold on to it.
I think Dixon was just waiting for Valesky's run, and he'd picked it out, but his pass was deflected away from Valesky straight to the goalkeeper, who wanted to start it quickly, but there was nobody making themselves available. And I guess for New Mexico right now, they just need to calm it all down, try and get control of the ball and build opportunities again, because if they concede another, it pretty much is game over.
Again, this is turned over. Fair running right at this back line. Moving off for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle deflected, and this is out for a corner kick. And the Monterey Bay pressure continues.
As you said, it's self-inflicted. The number of passes they've given away. Sam Hamilton's was the bad pass that led to the 3rd goal, but right now, again, on the attack, losing possession and giving Monterey Bay the counter-attack possibility.
Here's Murphy. Just play this in short. It's Robinson. Good ball in and cleared away as far as Donor. Down the line for Dixon, behind Seymour. He's going to keep it alive.
Good throw from Grant Robinson, and well taken by Alex Dixon. Did the hard work and then just lost control of the ball.
Tambakis. Comes New Mexico. What can they make of this? It's Rivas. White slide it through the middle, and it's cut back. Seymour to distribute out wide. Cross deflected as it comes in, looking for Doling. Moreno. Works on the overlap. Moreno will turn it back in field. Rivas. Quick flick through the middle and runs all the way through for Herrera. Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder, the reigning Eastern Conference winners in Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of the new season of the USL on ESPN, Saturday, May 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN 2. It's Revelar. Sliding challenge to put this out of play. Mexico United just looking for something here. Not a lot of the ball, trying to force the issue. Hasn't quite come off in this second half yet.
We were saying in the first half when they had all those chances, we said, if you don't take chances, often you get to regret them later in the match. One-on-one, nice and early with Carlos Herrera. Great save by the keeper. There was a couple of others. They went 1-0 up, and they still had a few more chances. And when you're on top in this sort of game, you've got to take advantage of it while you can.
Doling, who commits the handball. Of course, you can't help but forget that no Justin Portillo tonight. That is no doubt a big loss for this New Mexico team, both on and off the field, as a very important leader on this team. He also brings quite a bit of talent. But as Zach Prince said, this is a deep team, and we need the next man to step up, and he really called on Sergio Rivas to be that man. He did set up the first goal. They're looking for more here, and Valesky is also, his shot is blocked down. Swartz will chase it down, clear this away. Dixon cuts it in field, and he was dispossessed. Seymour able to step in. Tambakis' clearance, not what he was looking for. Moreno can't keep it.
It's getting a bit scrappy and loose from New Mexico, isn't it? Poor marking there.
And it's Gleedle, it's saved. Tambakis just keeps New Mexico alive in this one.
I was just saying it's loose play, and they allow a ball to be played into the box to Sam Gleedle unmarked. Tambakis does well to make the save, but you cannot allow this. He turns and hits it. Eventually there's enough shirts around him, but it's from a quick throw in. Really, New Mexico, after that great start where they looked so good first 20 minutes, you're thinking, wow, this is some team. They just lost their way a little bit. Perhaps the surprise that Monterey Bay was so efficient in taking their chances, but they need to get control back. They need to settle down and get forward. All their passing is taking place in their own half, which doesn't really help. Very good service. If Josh Doling is that good, he could score a hat-trick. Well, get some service to him. Let's see what he can do.
On the other side, Frank Yallop has to be quite pleased about how this game has turned.
Say that? I think he's ecstatic. From 1-0 down at home to 3-1, because he would know that a loss here, given the matches they've got coming up, and they could be near the bottom of the table. So this just pushes them right up into 5th or 6th position, and a little bit of breathing space.
And it goes without saying, especially in this league with how tight it's going to be, you just got to win your home games. So crucial to hold serve at home. Here's Doling. Will be fair. Nutmeg there by Moar, and Mexico's able to keep it with Hamilton. Here's Moar. Flicked along. Robert sweeps it clear. Working down the left. Swartz, cross deflected. He'll get another chance here. Roberts able to steer that clear as well. Moar keeps it alive. Moar lays it out there for Hamilton. Keeps it moving. Seymour. Here's Swartz. It's just year number 2 for this club, but they have built a really nice atmosphere here at Cardinale Stadium in Seaside. This community really rallying around this team, and it's going to be fun as this summer goes on, and they can keep winning games, staying in the playoff picture. Just how much that will continue and grow.
Well, the fans are going to have to wait a couple of games before they get to see Monterey Bay again. We mentioned Phoenix away, Indy 11 away, and after that RGV home, Pittsburgh home. So yeah, none of those looked like the easiest matches at all, and I think that's just how the season's going to be for every team, East and West. Every match difficult, surprise results everywhere. No easy. Back in the day when there was development teams in these leagues, there were some easy ones, but not anymore.
I was talking to a coach that's been away from the USL for the last few years, and I asked him, what's the big difference now that you're coming back in? He said, it's really about the ambition of these teams. They are striving to kind of raise their ceilings as much as possible. He also mentioned just the quality of player that has come into this league. Some of the veterans that have been around just continue to get better. They've been staples in this league, but also some of those younger players, the likes of a Josh Doling who comes in, or any other of those younger players in this league, a Fidel Barajas with Charleston. There's a lot of talent on display.
Certainly is. Josh Winder at Loose City. There's a bunch of great young players coming through. But you're right, the level goes up every year, as I think it does at MLS. It just goes up a notch every single year. Mind you, with Messi joining Miami FC, into Miami.
Miami FC, that would be a story, Gary.
That would be a story. That's the rumor anyway. Wouldn't that be awesome to have Messi playing in the MLS?
Swartz playing it towards the end line. Now it's Moreno. Can he get a shot away? He could not. Maybe a chance to counter once again for Monterey Bay. Valesky trying to flick this around the corner. Ryden sliding in, and he just wins it back. Great defensive play by Kalen Ryden. That is put out of play. And a couple of subs upcoming for New Mexico United. It's Austin Yearwood and Daniel Bruce entering. Coming off, we're hearing it's Harry Swartz and Sam Hamilton.
Well, you have to put subs on, you have to bring in fresh legs, fresh ideas, and just see if you can get one goal back and get yourself into this match. I don't think the coach has any choice in this situation. 12 minutes, Daniel Bruce against Oakland, so he's used to coming off the bench.
Make something happen right on the field. It's Bruce! And just wide, had Herrera's interest. He's able to see it bounce out of play.
What a start that would have been for Bruce. He's barely on. I think it's his first touch. Gets a lucky deflection from the tackle, but pounces onto it and just so nearly sticks it in that far corner. He's been a bit quieter this second half, Carlos Herrera. Very, very busy first 15 minutes or so, and then had a hand in both of the first two goals, and things have settled down for the keeper second half.
Roberts trying to move this forward. Seymour.
Monterey Bay just quite happy. They've got a 2-goal lead. They're just sort of sticking in their own half, saying, you want to keep it in your half, be my guest. Just you're working the clock down for us. Just going to conserve a little bit of energy, Monterey Bay, and then as soon as they get close to that halfway line, they start putting the pressure on. It's New Mexico got to come up with something more incisive.
The turn again. Posted down by Murphy. Here's Galidal. Has he been everywhere tonight for Monterey Bay, as he is most nights.
Goal and an assist. Valeski, a goal and an assist. Carlos Herrera in goals, two initial assists, if you could call it that.
Not a hockey assist.
Yeah, is that what it is? There's been some impressive performances from Monterey Bay. I think they can ride off the first 20 minutes as just New Mexico looked fantastic and they were just trying to get to grips with the game. But since then,
this cross fired in and straight out of play. Give Valeski a chance.
Maradona again, he's just had one of those matches where he just hasn't been able to measure his passes, measure his crosses. Unlike him, because he's normally very reliable.
Game has gone final from El Paso, and El Paso Locomotive has taken down Orange County 1-0. 1 goal in that game in the 19th minute. Lucho Solinak able to score it. El Paso trying to get things back on track. They're up to 7 points now after a bit of a slow start.
Well, your bottom 3 teams at the stands, and of course this is very early on in the season, is Phoenix Rising at the bottom, Orange County, who've brought in some fantastic players, second bottom, and New Mexico United, third bottom. We're just saying it's just such a competitive league. That will change and these teams will move around, of course, but who would have thought 3 such good teams would be in the bottom 3?
There's only 1 game in the USL Championship tomorrow. That is Phoenix Rising against Birmingham Legion. And how about Birmingham? They have just flown out of the gates. 3 wins and a draw. Right in. His head to it. Now it's Revelar. Back heel for Valeski. Monterey Bay can keep it. Slide this in behind. Now it comes for Valeski. Tries to leave it there for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle. It's a tap in for Christian Valeski. And Monterey Bay are absolutely flying tonight. That is 4 unanswered goals. And they have taken this game and run away.
It's that combination again, Sam Gleedle and Christian Valeski. They've combined for 3 of the 4 goals, but the little back heel from Sam Gleedle is just top class. The awareness, Valeski tries to put him in, he hasn't got much space, but he has a sense of where Valeski is going to be. It is a brilliant back heel, and it just sets up Christian Valeski. Here we go, bang. Thank you very much. I'll tuck that away. 3 goals. There's 2 of them for Valeski with 1 assist, and Sam Gleedle has 1 goal and 2 assists between them. 3 goals. Brilliant, brilliant performance from the pair of them.
Another healthy goal brought to you by Taylor Farms. Look at this display by Monterey Bay. It's been a tough last 3 games, winless, 2 losses and a draw. Christian Valeski and Sam Gleedle have now had a hand in all 4 goals tonight. And of course, they can combine on this one. After Valeski assisted Gleedle, now Gleedle can assist Valeski. It's funny how that works.
You've got to feel sorry for New Mexico United. The start of the game, they looked so good. They got themselves a 1-0 lead. They should have had a second. You would think the chances they had that they spurned, and Carlos Herrera making a really top-class save, and then a really great breakaway goal started by the goalkeeper and scored by Alex Dixon from a Sam Gleedle pass, got them back on level terms, and ever since then it's just been one-way traffic from the home side. Tough for the visitors, New Mexico.
Gleedle, Valeski will both be coming off the field.
To some applause, I would assume.
And it will also be Alex Dixon. This is a well-deserved applause for this front 3 that has been absolutely incredible tonight. Johnson, Boone, Martinez will all come on.
Yeah, happy crowd. You can hear the whistles and the applause and all the hugs on the bench there. And wow, what a performance. Sends a message to the rest of the West, because they were level with San Antonio until 5 minutes from time. It gave them a real battle. They gave Lucity a battle, but they've smashed Hartford 5-3. They're 4-1 up here. They're to be taken very seriously, Monterey Bay.
Frank Yallop doesn't need any confirmation that he's a great manager at this point in his career, but I love that moment that he gives that front three a chance to come off the field, feel that emotion from the crowd, get an ovation as they put in just an awesome performance tonight. All three of those players had a hand in all 4 of those goals. Play that down the line, it's out of play. Well, it is definitely back to the drawing board, and as you see those goals, Dixon, Gleedle, Valesky, a brace, he scored the last 2 after New Mexico United started the scoring in the 12th minute from Chris Wehan. For New Mexico United, they will finally have their first home match, but as you mentioned, against San Diego Loyal, it's not going to be an easy one. And Monterey Bay want more. Johnson down the line, it's Robinson who squares it. Tambakis got a touch on it, it's still not clear. Johnson trying to keep it alive, and finally the whistle blows. And now you put a new front three out there, and all of a sudden they want to get in on this on these goals.
Oh, the place is buzzing at the moment, isn't it? Just to go back to New Mexico United, you mentioned home to San Diego Loyal. The next match, away at Colorado Springs, Switchbacks. Well, you know what, to get anything out of those 2 matches is going to take some doing. Then they're at home to Phoenix Rising in the Open Cup. And then they've got Orange County to visit, and they're away at RGV. And then they host Monterey Bay, so that these 2 teams do play in about 6 matches' time. But it's a brutal run from now for New Mexico, and they have to be careful not to slip too far away from the playoff places. And we're talking about a very good team, good coach, got all the bits and pieces you need to be a successful team, and we're discussing whether they're going to fall away from playoffs places already. It's just it is a brutal division, this West.
Reno through the lines, Doling. Yearwood. Awkward ball to deal with, and this will be a tap-in. And Amando Moreno pulls one back for New Mexico. Well, is there some life for the yellow and black? It's 4-2.
That's such an unfortunate slip by Hugh Roberts. He had it to deal with. All he had to do was try and clear it, and for some reason his foot slipped on the turf, and it just almost goes between his legs. It shouldn't have been much of a threat. Moreno starts the move, gets it going. He's looking for it, then he rushes off into the box. And have a look, as the ball comes in, Hugh Roberts is thinking, I'll deal with this. And his right foot slips. And with that, it just goes through his legs. Moreno very quick to pounce on it and go around the goalkeeper. But such an unfortunate slip there for Hugh Roberts.
I've seen quite a few players slip on this turf tonight. Now, it's been a perfectly sunny day, but of course, in this part of the country, things can get very slick once it gets dark and a little bit colder. Definitely that will affect the surface.
Well, we thought early on there was going to be a really good game because they were at it from the kickoff, the 2 of them, to and fro, and it's provided us with 6 goals, maybe more still to come.
Maybe that'll give New Mexico a little bit of confidence now into these final 13 minutes, trying to bookend the game, starting well and trying to finish it well. Down the line. Trying to cut this in field. Mowar brought down, no whistle. Boone will flick this out wide. It's Walmer Martinez. Boone, was he pulled back? Referee says play on again. Moreno, that's off the mark.
Certainly that slip from Hugh Roberts just suddenly brings them back in the game. It's only a 2-goal difference. You score once and then it's everything thrown. The kitchen sink and the whole lot gets thrown at the Monterey Bay defense. And it's an unfortunate slip, but it's just opened the door enough to give New Mexico some hope. And there's Chase Boone slipping.
This is turned over again. It's Moreno. Robinson coming from behind and just able to get that free. Monterey Bay can't keep it. The turn, Moreno, ambitious effort, didn't get the power behind the shot.
Nothing Herrera could do about that second goal. He was exposed, and it was good skill from Armando Moreno to go around him, but as a goalkeeper, you haven't got that much chance on a one-on-one. It really is in the forward's favor.
Doling for Moreno. Now Weehan. Distribution out wide. Moar. Is that a handball? There's a big appeal and no penalty.
Always difficult for the referees without VAR to give penalties on the assumption that it hit, or maybe it hit quickly, or where were the hands. Let's have a look and see. It does hit Moridona's arm, but he's falling at the time and the arm's fairly close to the bodies. Is it really a penalty? Again, if you had VAR and you could slow it right down, you could make a balanced judgment, but just on a glance like that, I don't think you can see enough to give a penalty.
It looked like he was also bringing his hand into his body, and that, I think, is one of the signs that would say no penalty. Good decision there by our referee. 10 minutes to go. A few minutes ago, we thought this game was well out of reach. It still may be for New Mexico, but they're in with the shout, down 2 goals.
We haven't seen much of Josh Dolling since he came on, the man who got the hat-trick in the Open Cup midweek for New Mexico United. Thought maybe he can impact the game if he gets a bit of service.
Now it looks like the referee will bring this back. Sliding challenge from Chris Weehan. I think they're asking for a card to be shown here, and the referee not obliging. At least for now. That was Bruce, rather.
It's a lunging tackle. The foot was up. He brought it down just in time, Weehan. If it had kept the foot up, then that's a sending off offense, but he brought it down. Certainly is a free kick, and you can give yellow cards for those sort of things, but the referee, I think, has been quite lenient all match on yellows. Just the one, I think, is a Grant Robinson.
Yeah, he's been consistent. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah, agreed.
Going hard after that, trying to put some pressure on. Here's Doling, just holding play up, but turning play over. Revelar with Johnson asking for it. It's Walmer Martinez. Just got the ball caught in his feet as Weehan was coming back defensively. They're looking for that Route 1 ball. It's a foul against Bruce.
It's another foul against Bruce. He's got to be careful. He'll get a yellow card just for constant infringement. I don't think Hugh Roberts is in any rush to take it. In fact, he's not even going to bother. He's going to leave it for Carlos Herrera.
The referee walking over to the bench. Yellow card will go to Zach Prince. Trying to urge his team on here. And a substitution coming. That's the end of the night for Adrian Revelar, and it will be a Monterey Bay and USL Championship debut coming for Novello Yoseki, a 27-year-old who was born in Sudan. He moved to Egypt at age 4. He moved to Canada at age 10, and that's where he really grew up and started to play this game. He started in the Montreal Academy. His last club that he played for, New Amsterdam in Nisa a couple of years ago. He has some connections here to this part of the country, came on trial with the team, and Frank Gallup said, let's sign him up, and here he is.
He's coming on at a good time, just a few minutes left in this match, and his job as a number 6, just defend, try and stop New Mexico from getting a crucial third goal and just see out the match and work the clock down.
Here's Johnson. Murphy, crafty to bring it in field. It's Boone, and he lost it. Head for Moreno, as Monterey Bay trying to get bodies back. Flicked along, it's Yearwood. Weehan. Play this out wide. Yearwood service in for Bruce. Couldn't get the shot away. Just 5 minutes to go now. Boone trying to keep himself on side. And the challenge came in by Suggs. It was a clean one on Walmer Martinez. Bruce chasing this down. Now the whistle sounds. Be a yellow card going to James Murphy, and there will also be a substitution coming on, and this is a debut as well. Coming off the field will be Santi Moar. Coming on the field is Alex Wagoner, a 19-year-old signed to an academy contract. His first pro appearance tonight, so a big night for Wagoner. Won the USL Academy Finals Golden Boot. The youngster comes on here for New Mexico.
Crucial moment here. If you get a decent ball in the box, New Mexico maybe get a knockdown and get that crucial third goal.
This is floated in, quickly headed away. Stoppage in play here, clash of heads.
It was a Walmer Martinez went down on the one side. It's 2 players fully committed to the ball. There he goes. Martinez gone up and he's gone and lie down again. I think you've got to take it very easy when you've had a clash of heads. Both players fully committed. Have a look. They both go for it. Ooh. Ooh. Nasty. Kalen Ryden. There's the other one down. If anyone ever questions the commitment of players, then that's just shows you they were both eyes on the ball, both prepared to get hurt in the process, and both did.
Both players being treated here at this late stage. Gallup, a lot of smiles tonight, huh?
Yeah, he's serious now, but we saw him smiling for a moment there, and probably at 4-2, just looking at this, thinking to himself, I hope we don't go and let this slip. Good to see both players getting up. But you would think a 2-goal cushion at this late stage of the match would be enough. I'm just wondering whether the referee gives a drop ball here, because both players clashed. Nobody was looking to hurt anybody else. It just happened. He's made some decisions and they've worked for Frank Gallup. Has been a superb performance and brought Moby Fair back, which we knew he would. after suspension. But Grant Robinson at left back has really worked well. He left Chase Boone off, and the other front three with Sam Deedle up front have just been phenomenal. Alex Dixon and, of course, Christian Valeski. So from a manager's point of view, all these decisions have worked out. You've got to be pretty happy with yourself.
There's Boone in for Johnson. Throw into New Mexico.
Substitutes trying to have a little bit of a save from the touchline.
Should have been a little farther back. Murphy put in a big shift in the middle. The first touch there for Yoseki, and he almost lost it. Eventually will turn it over.
And he was slipping as well. I've seen a lot of that today, of course, with Hugh Robertson, the second goal for New Mexico United, but he's not the only one to have slipped on this slightly wet surface.
Wagner. That's going to be a foul.
No rush here from the goalkeeper. Not much time left, so eat up that clock and take the 3 points and move on. That's Monterey Bay's job. For New Mexico, it will be a lot of discussions as to how they conceded so many and why they didn't take their chances. So a lot of work for Zach Prince and his team to do before they take on San Diego.
As we get into stoppage time here. Still a few more minutes to go, 3 to be exact.
Sure, Phoenix Rising looking at Monterey Bay. And that's the next match for Monterey Bay. Of course, Phoenix play tomorrow, then they take on the Union. But they will be watching and thinking, this is a side we're going to have to be very careful of, because they have, as we've seen, a wonderful attack and a very strong defense as well. So not easy to play. In fact, if it wasn't for Hugh Roberts slipping, and it's just the 1 goal conceded, it's been a much better defensive performance from Monterey Bay.
You could even say that first goal, I'll give credit to New Mexico, but it's a good chance Herrera, if he gets that chance again, he could catch that cross. As the flag comes up, that's being nitpicky though, but overall, this has been a really solid performance from Monterey Bay. And in behind, Wagner, keep it in.
Pretty sure that Carlos Herrera has played himself into the goalkeeper's jersey for the next game or two. Very impressive couple of saves. You're right about the goal. He probably would look at that and think, if I can't hold it, could I have pushed it away from trouble instead of dropping it right for Chris Weehan? But that's one small criticism. You've got to give him huge credit for both of the first 2 goals that he started off. So overall, I think it's been an excellent performance by the keeper.
We've seen Anthony Siaha, he's been a great keeper as well in this league, but Herrera has gotten his chance and he's taken it. Just not quite going to work out tonight, it seems, for New Mexico, but they will be back at home for their first home match at the Lab next week against San Diego Loyal. Should be a fascinating match after San Diego able to steal 3 points today against FC Tulsa. Tonight has been all about Monterey Bay. Valeski, Dixon, and Gleadle. Here's Moreno for Rivas. One last roll of the dice here for New Mexico. Weehan. The night he got his 50th regular season goal. Down the line for Moreno. Rivas again. It's Herrera to claim it. And that is all. Monterey Bay, a fantastic home performance. They concede the first goal, they concede the last goal, but they score 4 goals in between and take all 3 points on this Saturday night.
And it ends appropriately with Carlos Herrera, the goalkeeper, coming and taking a high ball under pressure, hits the deck. As the whistle goes, Maradona walks across and pats the goalkeeper on the back. He's been hugely influential. Yep, everyone shaking hands with the goalkeeper. And of course, all the focus will be on Sam Gleadle, Christian Valeski, Alex Dixon, but the midfield was superb. James Murphy, Moby Fair with an assist as well. The defense were excellent, and I think some credit to New Mexico for a good first 20 minutes and a good fight back at the end, but not enough from the visitors, and quite rightly, all 3 points go to Monterey Bay.
Frank Yallop, a very happy head coach here tonight as it finishes here. Stay with us, we'll have highlights and stats next, but Monterey Bay defeat New Mexico 4-2.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Full time from Seaside, California. Monterey Bay takes down New Mexico United. Hugh Roberts with some photos for the fans, and how about this excitement? They're feeling it tonight at Cardinale Stadium, and what's not to be excited about as Monterey Bay wins it 4-2. And as we look back on these 90 minutes, well, there's plenty of goals to show you, 6 of them in total, and things got started in the 12th minute. And this was a brilliant start for New Mexico. They got on the board first.
Yes, Sergio Rivas with a run down the right-hand side, shoots. Carlos Herrera just can't hold it, but drops it, and it goes straight to Chris Wien, who bangs it in the back of the net. Goalkeeper, it's the only question mark. Otherwise, he was absolutely fantastic today. And then he actually starts this move. You don't see the goalkeeper throwing that ball out to Sam Gleadle. Alex Dixon makes a blistering run down the left, cuts inside here, picks his spot, and they're on level terms.
It's all about Gleadle, Valeski, and Alex Dixon, who buries this one in the 40th minute then. Sam Gleadle Christian Valeski, but it all starts with the goalkeeper.
Starts with the goalkeeper. Long ball, great header from Valeski right into Gleedle's path. He tucks it in the corner. Just fantastic, simple and yet elegant in its simplicity. Brilliant bit of skill. And suddenly they were 2-1 ahead, 2 shots on goals and 2 goals.
And there's something nice about just going route one right over the top. Then come the second half. You don't see that often. A giveaway in the middle by Hamilton, and then it was Valeski off to the races.
Yeah, lovely ball from Moby Fair to put Valeski in, and he just puts it between the goalkeeper's legs. They got a few chances, but every time they got them, they polished them off. And another one here, it's that Sam Gleedle, Christian Valeski. But this for me is the pick of them, because Sam Gleedle's little back heel coming up, his awareness, he's caught in the middle there, he's facing the wrong direction. Brilliant back heel, straight to Valeski, 4-1.
That was the last of the scoring of the night for Monterey Bay, but it was all they needed. There would be one more moment for New Mexico. Kind of awkward at the back for Hugh Roberts here, but it had to be put away, and it was by Armando Moreno.
Yeah, he just slips, his right foot slips, it goes through his legs. Armando Moreno very quick to pounce on it. Nothing Carlos Herrera can do about that. Unfortunate, lucky though for Hugh Roberts that it didn't really make a difference.
In the end, a comfortable victory. Look at the final stats and your final thoughts, Gary.
Well, it's 7 shots for the Union and 5 on target, and 4 of them went
That's
in.
incredible.
I would say that's pretty clinical finishing by anybody's score. I mean, it's not bad for New Mexico. 8 shots, 5 on target, 2 goals, but the Union were just in great form every which way. Fantastic at home. They are working their way up the table. For New Mexico, well, wasn't their day. Good start, and they've got some work to do, but hopefully they'll be able to get into full stride soon.
So that will do it for our coverage tonight from Seaside, California. A massive victory for Monterey Bay as they get things back on track. New Mexico United of their first home match next season. For our entire crew, broadcast partner Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Seaside, where Monterey Bay is victorious. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.